Imagine building an empire only to have history try to erase you, chisel by chisel, face by face. What kind of power threatens your memory so much, they try to wipe you away for 3,000 years? This is the hidden story of Hatshepsut, the woman who ruled Egypt as pharaoh and nearly vanished from the record. Picture the burning sun-striking limestone temples along the Nile. We're in ancient Egypt, about 3,500 years ago, around 1479 BCE. The Egyptian throne is never meant for a woman, at least, that's what almost everyone believed. But one woman upends everything. Her name is Hatshepsut, daughter of Pharaoh Thutmose I. She grows up among royal tutors, scribes, and towering statues of gods and kings. She hears priestly chants echo through the pillared halls as incense drifts by. Young Hatshepsut is trained for power, but not as pharaoh. Egyptian queens have titles, not thrones. Her father dies. Her half-brother, Thutmose II, takes the crown and Hatshepsut is married to him, as is custom. But Thutmose II is sickly. He dies young, leaving only a baby son by another wife. Who rules Egypt now? A toddler with no experience? Custom says the king's wife becomes God's wife of Amun, a powerful priestess, but never a pharaoh. But Hatshepsut takes the unprecedented step. She becomes co-regent, then proclaims herself pharaoh. A woman depicted with a royal fake beard and male garb now sits on the throne of the world's superpower. Priests and craftsmen sculpt her likeness, sometimes as a woman, sometimes as a man. They chisel her titles in stone, His Majesty, herself. But how did Hatshepsut actually rule, and why did successors try so hard to erase her? Hatshepsut's reign is anything but hidden. She launches massive building programs up and down the Nile. The crowning glory, her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, a colonnaded vision stretching up from sun-baked cliffs. Artists paint scenes of trading ships, goods from distant lands, and tribute bearers on her walls. Hatshepsut sponsors vast expeditions, most famously to the mysterious land of Punt. Ships packed with gold, ivory, myrrh trees, baboons, and exotic woods sail back to Egypt. She orders obelisks raised at Karnak, carved with her own achievements. Sunlight flashes off the pink granite of her obelisks, sending her name skyward. The priesthood, the real power brokers, bless her rule, at least publicly. Hatshepsut keeps massive building crews working, pouring wealth into temples and tombs. Construction dust hangs in the dry air as stonecutters hammer and haul. Under her, Egypt enjoys 2 decades of peace, prosperity, and stability. Records show full granaries, bustling markets, and temples gleaming with offerings. Life is good, unless you're hoping for war stories. Hatshepsut prefers diplomacy and trade. Her stepson, Thutmose III, the rightful king, grows up in her shadow. As Hatshepsut ages, Thutmose III trains as a soldier but waits. He watches as her statues rise higher than his own. It's awkward, at best, the boy king, sidelined by his aunt, who rules as pharaoh for 22 years. When Hatshepsut dies, possibly in her late 40s, Thutmose III finally takes full power. And here's where her story takes a strange, almost cinematic turn. At some point after Thutmose III takes the throne, a campaign of erasure begins. Statues of Hatshepsut suddenly lose their faces, the noses, the eyes, even her name carved away. Whole reliefs are hacked off her temples. The stonework is gouged, scraped, and patched over with new king's cartouches. Rows of her statues are walled in, decapitated, or dumped in sandpits near quarries. The official lists of pharaohs omit her altogether. Her 22 years replaced by nothing. Why go to such lengths to erase her memory? Was it revenge from Thutmose III, or fear among priests and nobility that a woman's rule was dangerous to recall? Historians debate it even today. Maybe it's both. Erasure wasn't instant. It took years, maybe decades. But it was systematic. Imagine stonemasons, night after night, scratching out one set of hieroglyphics and carving in another. Many of her images are replaced with statues of Thutmose III, as if she'd never existed. The pharaoh who left more monuments than almost anyone is nearly wiped from official memory. But history is stubborn. Faces and names have a way of returning. In the 19th century, archaeologists start hunting for the truth behind fragmented statues and half-effaced walls. At Deir el-Bahari, they clear away centuries of dust and sand. They uncover statues of a pharaoh, but some look oddly feminine, and some wear the false beard of kings. One set of inscriptions uses the word she, others say he. What gives? For decades, scholars puzzle over the cross-dressed images and mismatched names. Then they find cartouches with Hatshepsut's unmistakable name embedded in old reliefs. Hidden in small, untouched corners, her story survives in faint hieroglyphs. One by one, statues are dug from riverbanks, their faces battered but still royal. The real story emerges. Hatshepsut, a woman ruling as pharaoh for over 2 decades, nearly forgotten by her own dynasty. Her mortuary temple stands as proof, a work so ambitious, later kings had no choice but to leave parts of it alone. Obelisks once smashed are found re-erected, still bearing her cartouche. A single block of granite, 15 stories tall, catches the sun, the inscription naming a king who was once a queen. Wall reliefs show the expedition to Punt, trees being loaded onto ships, strange animals roped at the shore. Her face, always slightly different, stares out from fragments, sometimes soft, sometimes austere. Statues show her in male dress, stiff as any pharaoh, but the hands are delicate, the lips curved. A battered sphinx bears her likeness, hidden under another king's name. Dozens of objects are reanalyzed. Scrapings show her name, covered up and later revealed by peeling paint or recut stone. Hatshepsut becomes the ultimate test for Egyptologists. What else might be erased right in the open? How did she keep power for so long, in a world built against her? She wove female and male iconography together, making herself both king and queen in her monuments. Her birth was painted as an event willed by the gods, legitimizing her extraordinary reign. But whose loyalty did she really have, and how close was the next revolt? Records show she kept military support, but carefully mostly ceremonial campaigns, few true battles. The priesthood of Amun grows rich under her, she is their chief sponsor. Her chief advisor, Senenmut, is granted privileges no commoner gets, his statues found beside hers in temples. Gossip about Senenmut and Hatshepsut is still debated, no letters survive, only rumors and suspicion. A secret tomb hides Senenmut's shattered statue, but the reason is lost to us. Hatshepsut's daughter, Neferure, vanishes from the record, another cold trail, never explained. What did ordinary Egyptians think of her? The records are silent, powerful people write the histories. But day laborers, merchants, scribes, all would have known the name Hatshepsut carved and spoken in their lifetimes. Children may have played in the dust as her obelisks rose skyward. Priests prayed for her health on festival days beneath the temple colonnades. Artisans painted her as both divine mother and conquering king, often in the same mural. Royal kitchen servants likely prepared feasts for ceremonies at Karnak, never knowing their queen's legacy would be at risk. No ancient letters survive to tell us what people whispered in markets and alleyways. But her buildings and images were everywhere, her presence was felt, even if short-lived. Today, what remains of Hatshepsut can be touched, her temple, her statues, her rare portraits on museum shelves. Tourists walk the sun-baked steps of Deir el-Bahari, passing columns marked with a name nearly lost to time. In the Egyptian Museum, fragments of statuary show careful repairs, faces reconstructed after centuries of destruction. Even now, archaeologists debate the exact location of her mummy, whether a tooth in a canopic box really matches her remains. They use CT scans, DNA, even chemical analysis of embalming resins to try and confirm her identity. A cracked jawbone, a molar, the few clues we have after 3 millennia. Yet the biggest evidence is what couldn't be erased: stone foundations, monumental pillars, surviving inscriptions. Who else is hidden in plain sight beneath chip plaster and overcarved names? Hatshepsut's erasure wasn't just personal, it became a template for systematic forgetting. Later pharaohs erased rivals. Romans scraped emperors from monuments. Medieval chroniclers rewrote dynasties. But just as often, evidence survived in overlooked corners: a hidden inscription, a chipped jar, a dusty storeroom shelf. History's greatest cover-ups almost always leave a trace. Today, Hatshepsut stands as both a ruler and an enigma, a woman nearly deleted, now more famous than her eraser. When you see a name half gone on an old stone, remember, sometimes, the most powerful stories are the ones almost lost forever.